Did you know that one of England's most famous queens was once accused of sleeping with her own brother? The accusation was so shocking that nearly 500 years later, many people still wonder if it was true. The queen was Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII. Her brother was George Boleyn, Viscount Rochford. Both were executed in May 1536, George on May 17th and Anne just 2 days later on May 19th. But was there ever any real evidence that they had committed incest? The story began long before the trials. By 1536, Henry VIII had grown frustrated with Anne. She had given birth to Princess Elizabeth, but she had not produced the long-awaited male heir. After a series of miscarriages, the king's attention had already turned to another woman, Jane Seymour. Anne's political enemies saw their chance. Henry's chief minister, Thomas Cromwell, began building a legal case against the queen. Witnesses were questioned in secret, servants were interviewed, and members of the royal court were carefully watched. The investigation soon expanded beyond Anne herself and reached the people closest to her. One thing quickly became clear. Anne and George shared an unusually close relationship. They were highly educated, enjoyed the same interest, and often spent time together at court. Friends and ambassadors had noticed their strong bond for years, but there had never been any suggestion that it was improper. Then everything changed. That close relationship was turned into one of the most explosive accusations imaginable. Anne was charged with committing incest with George, along with adultery involving several men at court, including the royal musician Mark Smeaton, courtier Henry Norris, Sir Francis Weston, William Brereton, and Sir Thomas White was questioned during the investigation but was never formally charged. The case against Anne had serious problems from the beginning. Several alleged meetings took place on dates when official records show she was somewhere else. Some accusations were impossible to fit into the known moments of the royal court. Mark Smeaton eventually confessed to adultery, but historians generally believe his confession was obtained after intense pressure during questioning. None of the other accused men admitted guilt, and there was no independent evidence proving that Anne had committed adultery or incest. At her trial in the Tower of London, Anne formally denied every charge. George did the same. Even the bizarre claim that the siblings had kissed intimately was based on accusation rather than proof. Both juries still returned guilty verdicts. Modern historians overwhelmingly agree that there is no credible evidence Anne and George Boleyn committed incest. Most view the charges as politically motivated, designed to remove a queen Henry no longer wanted and to destroy the powerful Boleyn family. Within 10 days of Anne's execution, Henry VIII married Jane Seymour, while Anne and George entered history not for proven crimes, but for one of Tudor England's most controversial trials.